Weta Workshop. I have been working at Weta Workshop for 13 years now. I'm currently in the consumer products team working as a sales manager.
Hi everyone, I'm Kim Faiga and I have the privilege to serve as the head of department of consumer products.
So Weta Workshop is a creative studio that serves the world's creative industries. So that includes anything from blockbuster film and TV productions. We do immersive experiences, we host tourism attractions, we make video games, and we sell collectibles.
Hello, I'm Harish Rao. I am the co-founder of Goa Future Proof Entertainment and the co-organizer of Transcend Goa 2026. So Transcend Goa is the first of its kind transmedia conference that's taken about a year in the making and is now the first in class, I guess we can call it, pilot event, transmedia storytelling event that took place over the last 2 days, January 15th and 16th. And here we are at the end of the day of day 2 of the event. And hopefully this will be the first of three major events in going from what we like to call outsourcing into what could be transmedia storytelling and what it means in the state of Goa, and how we're going to explore that into a bigger, larger conversation and potential content exploration.
Cool, so on my left here we have the Ring Wraith of Mordor, which is part of our classic series collection. These retail at $399 each, and this is what we call open edition, where we don't set an established edition size. We just keep reproducing them until there is no more demand. So sometimes we can end up producing thousands and thousands of them because, especially the Ring Wraith, it is one of the more popular and iconic characters from Middle-earth. So naturally, the Ring Wraith makes the perfect choice to be a character within the classic series. On my right, we have King Theoden on his steed, named Snowman. So we created this collectible purely because the fans demanded it. They've been asking for many, many years, give us a King Theoden on Snowman, so we thought, okay, it's time, let's do it. In 2024, we were celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Return of the King, so we thought that was a perfect time to bring Theoden to life in a collectible format. So we chose the specific moment where he is hyping up his Rohirrim army right before they charge into the Battle of the Pelennor Fields in Return of the King, one of the most pivotal moments of the story, and also probably the biggest moment that gives everybody goosebumps in the film. You know, you've got the soundtrack going in the background and just the epic scale of that scene. He's chanting death, yeah. So yeah, our artists have captured that moment, that snapshot perfectly in this collectible. We retailed it for $999 and I think we sold out in 11 hours, and that was limited to 900 pieces worldwide.
I think everything that's good that comes about is through relationships. It really comes down to, can you get synergies together? When I was at San Diego Comic-Con in July of last year, I happened to be walking through the conference, and through a mutual friend of ours, I came in on the last day and I met Kim, and he was this bright ray of sunshine that I just happened to meet. The very next week, I'm like bugging poor Kim, and I'm like, we should do something together. We need to do something together. And it was at that time I just said, like, look, I'm working on this thing I've been trying to put together for quite some time, and it's a transmedia storytelling conference. And within just a few short months, I had convinced him, thankfully, that
No need to
I convinced him that it's a great idea for him to come out to Goa here. And of course, Jack came along, and here we are just a few short months later.
I feel very honored and privileged to be invited into this space and to be a part of this amazing conference, which is looking at the opportunities for the creative space in Goa and in India. It was an opportunity for us to showcase what Weta Workshop is about and hopefully spark some ideas of how we can collaborate cross-nation, cross-businesses to make great things.
It's a privilege to be able to come to India and talk about Weta Workshop and what we do and what we get up to in Wellington in New Zealand. It's our first time in India and we've learned so much about the creative industries here, and there's a lot of parallels between the New Zealand film industry and the film industry here in India as well. So I think there's definitely a lot of opportunity for our two countries to work together more, right?
When we talk about cross-cultural dynamics, and I talk about cross-cultural elements of cultures, and we talk about media, transmedia, so this is a really important part of it. When you talk about cultural dynamics, it's, okay, we're talking about like business and business, context of things, but it's relating on entertainment, pop culture, and that's how you start to bridge gaps. We're talking about how do we actually start to work together. That's one element, that's a commerce element of things. There's another element of dynamics. It's like, how do you actually forge relationships? So that comes through commonalities. We talk the same language. We understand the dynamics of like how IP works. I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, and I literally was watching Lord of the Rings again this week, but I know the IP so well, and that level of devotion, that understanding is the kind of level of devotion understanding that needs to be understood if we in India want to start actually creating IP in the same way. So that's what the whole genesis of this actual conference is, because we talk about how do we make global IP? How do we get involved? How do we be part of that conversation? Well, we become part of that conversation because we become obsessive about it. Because in New Zealand and Weta, they're obsessive about making these actual wonderful collectibles. So this is a privilege for me to actually bring this conference to life and having these conversations here in Goa at this conference. So it was very inspiring these last couple of days to have those dialogues. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, it's been an absolute privilege, and it's expanded our thinking, our mind, and our awareness of what's possible. And like Jack has just shared, it's been an absolute privilege to kind of represent Weta Workshop here in this space and to have the conversations with all the creatives around us, like from film, game, and the other spaces that are represented here. It's been wonderful.
Really happy to have you both. Thank you for coming all the way out from New Zealand, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. I know we enjoyed you, and thank you for bringing these collectibles and showcasing something that's never been seen in Goa. And we really appreciate it. And just from the bottom of my heart, I just appreciate both of you for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, Harish.